If you guys have been watching these episodes for the last month or so, you know we're working on that big giant SunTrax project, and it's 3 big massive signs that we're making for the Florida Department of Transportation, and we've been on this crazy tight deadline. Everybody's been working on it. It's taken up so much time, so much material, so much in our shop.
How many months have we been building this thing?
I know, it feels like we've been building it since 2020, man. I don't even understand.
And we have months of drawings before that, too.
Yes, exactly. But in all reality, we put this sign together pretty quick. It's probably been here maybe 6 weeks, I don't know, something like that.
Actual fabrication.
Actual fabrication time. But we're in a really good mood today because of that. I mean, look at that massive sign over there in full color. I'm so excited to see this thing installed.
It is finally coming together, getting ready to go up tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Let's go take a closer look.
So it's really cool now to see all the letters, purple, green, this suede color that they asked for, finally on the cabinet instead of on the drawing. So the stage we are right now with the SunTrax letters, these have just come out of paint. They have painted Matthews green on the outside. Inside of the letter has been painted with high reflective white, which is Altec Matthews, and they also have Hanley P3 LEDs inside and are fully wired. So now we're underneath and inside the cabinet that's going to hold these SunTrax letters. We've got extra aluminum supports that I've welded in up here. They have 3/8" bolts that go through here into that 3/8" plate that's inside the letter. Each of the letters that are on top of here have 1 wire coming out. And all of this is going to be wired into the power supplies on one end of the cabinet, which has a door for easy service if it's ever needed. So let's mount the second set of letters.
All right, here we are, you guys. A few weeks ago, you saw the episode when we were building the individual letters and we were building the base, and we said we were going to mount everything on the base and then take it out there in one piece. So here we are. Steve's got the letters built, the base is painted. The idea is later this afternoon or first thing in the morning, pick this thing up with a forklift, put it on our trailer, take it out to the job site, lift it up with our giant Altec bucket truck, and slide it down over those poles in one piece.
Well, one piece for this part. We still have 2 other pieces of the sign. We got the big white background behind there. We got the fins that go on the end.
Yes, we do. Okay, so this piece is looking really good. Let's go check out those other couple pieces. Okay, so Rick, the other couple of pieces that make the full sign, what do we got over here?
Right here we got the fin structure that fits on the one side of the base over there.
Yep. Okay, and, so this is like the non-lit part of it.
Right. Well, it's got, and these 2 structures are already mounted on the base, but we're leaving these off because we got to get in there to attach it, you know, for welding and when we mount it.
Right. Right. Okay. So the base with the letters goes down in one shot. Boom. Right. And then this guy raises up and goes over the other 2 poles, and it notches right into that base. So it'll be sitting on that base as part of the letters. And then
the steel saddles are where the poles are going to come up, and it gets welded there and there to the steel.
Okay, so the steel pole is in the ground. This steel is going to go over top of it, but just can't let it sit there. So we weld it around so it actually makes it a piece or a part of that post.
And then these fins are bolted to the structure that's welded to the poles.
And then there's still the big 12.5-foot tall pole or fin that will go out there, and once we get done with the welding, we'll put it on here, bolt it in, done deal. So this section is all one piece with the 2 fins that go on the side, and that's done. Now, this arch has to continue behind the letters, because the letters are still sitting over here, right? The key's in here. This is just the accent element, and the letters are sitting up on this base. What's behind these letters continues this arch.
Yeah, that's what Robert's working on right there.
All right.
He's getting the face in this big cabinet. That thing is bright as hell.
That's pretty crazy.
You like them LEDs
Have you seen that thing lit up yet?
It's like the sunrise.
So let's go talk about that cabinet for a little bit. All right, so we introduced you guys to this Panaflex product 6 months ago when we were doing that giant AC hotel blade sign on the side of that hotel in downtown Orlando. And it was a square box that we stretched it on. But look at this thing, man. It looks like a piece of pumpkin pie sitting here. It's like a pie shape, right? So, and we're going to stretch that material just like we did the square box. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a square box, or it could be round, it could be a pie shape, you know, whatever you want. Yeah. So that's kind of versatility you have with this product. Inside here, we're running the Hanley Stellar Edge Mini LEDs. And these are big, giant LEDs that shine straight, 120-degree angle. So then that Panaflex, that bright white Panaflex, gets stretched on this whole pie shape, and then it sits in between those SunTrax letters, so it gives a really nice contrast of bright white behind the purple and green letters. So this looks good now, but once we get that white behind it, it's gonna be a totally different kind of sign, right? So here we are down here on this Panaflex. We talked about acrylic versus Panaflex before. Acrylic panels only come so big, and as well as they get larger like that, they get more fragile in the wind. So that's why the Panaflex is a better choice. Now with the acrylic that we had to do, it would have been panels like this, right? And we'd had to put a track in the middle, so they would have had these vertical bars running up their sign, which would not light. So we said, forget about that acrylic, let's do Panaflex. Now, we have one seam in this Panaflex, and it's right here. And this Panaflex material heat seams together. So you got this 1-inch seam that's gonna be slightly darker when it lights up because you have 2 layers of the material, but there is no physical aluminum beams or bars that are gonna interrupt the light. So this is gonna give it a much stronger, much more solid, smooth look than doing just acrylic panels, right? Robert, why don't you tell me a little bit about these clips and stuff that you're putting on this Panaflex?
These are the 2-piece sign comp, you know, clips. It's got a mandrel that goes underneath the fabric. You know, you mark out your cut line, and then you mark out your, you know, clip placement line. The mandrel goes underneath, and it just folds over, and then once you lock that on, the clip locks into the fabric and the mandrel and doesn't move.
It grabs it. So this is essentially making a really strong vice grip kind of lock on this material. And then this, what happens to this when you're installing it?
That goes into the slot on the back side, the sign comp. It's ridged on the inside of the aluminum, and then the back of the clip is ridged so that they, as you push it in and stretch the fabric, the ridges interlock and don't let the fabric coming back out. These are super strong clips. You can actually break a cabinet if you just keep tensioning these. You can collapse the cabinet. The end of the cabinet if you're not paying attention.
So you're saying if this thing clips in there and it doesn't come out, how the hell do you get it out if you have to change the face or change some LEDs?
There's a way to use a screwdriver. You put anything flat in and just twist it, and that clip will walk one step out.
And let me ask you about these rails in here. So most of these are coming out. You just use those for the strength for the fabrication, but you're gonna knock those things out so we minimize what's inside that cabinet to where so it doesn't intrude with any light.
Yeah, 3 of them are staying. The ones that are painted white, the square tube that are all the way in the middle, the other angles are I'll snap them out when I start stretching the face.
Oh, come on.
Like those 2 are just to hold that bottom angle from us moving it around in the shop.
But once we get it on there, we bolt it down, bolt it to the other section, put the top on, it's all gonna be structurally sound, so we don't need that anymore. They're just here for strength right now.
The 3 that are staying are really to support the arch and the bottom of that cabinet from the force that I'm going to put on it when I stretch the face.
So this fabric, this material, if you force it hard enough, will flex that cabinet, bend it.
The arch would stay pretty good, but I would end up putting another arch in that bottom straight piece.
Which we got to have it flat, sitting on that base. So when you think about that, that's because you got to stretch this thing so tight because you want it to be like a drum so it doesn't blow out in a hurricane or it doesn't wobble. You know, it's got to look as close to a solid material as possible.
Yeah.
Cool. Great work, man. It's looking really good. We're super excited. This is a culmination of weeks and weeks, months of work.
Man.
Tomorrow morning, we're going out and putting this thing on the trailer, taking it out there and putting the pieces on. Hopefully it'll only take us a couple of days to do the final install because it's only a few pieces that we're working with by design. And now remember, there's 3 big giant signs. There's this sign, there's that X sculpture, there's the big portal sign, but we're not even concerned about those right now. All we are is super excited that we're gonna get this beast out of our shop this week. So excited, let's go.
Boy, the sign looks a lot bigger with you next to it.